In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace this front seat bottom heating element in this Chevy Tahoe. Let's get into it. We're going to take this cover off. You want to move the seat all the way forward. I'm going to use a trim tool and just get underneath here and just pop it up. There's a little retainer. It's holding that on. It's going to have to go back in here. Just push that in there. And we can access the bolt. We're going to use an E14 socket for both bolts. And take those bolts out. There's two nuts on the front. You're going to want to use an E20 socket. If you don't have an E20 socket, you can substitute with a 6.15 millimeter socket. That works as well. Just use a magnet. Take that nut off. You can see that nut. And just use a trim tool, get underneath here. There you go. That's just clipped in. Now the same, I'm going to use a 15 millimeter socket. Take this nut off. Now I move the seat forward, and then underneath here we can lift up on the seat. Just want to take this cover off here. You just pull it up. You can see where the connectors are. Because this vehicle has airbags in the seat, before we disconnect the connector, we're going to disconnect the battery. Use a 8 millimeter wrench. Loosen up the negative side terminal. And set that aside. Now I can disconnect the connector, just push down on the tab, slide that off. Then this is the connector for the airbags. There's a little lock tab there. Just want to pull that off. Pop the connector off, just like that. Just lift up, it slides off. Now grab the seat. Slide it up and out. Take this side panel off. I'm just going to use a Phillips head screwdriver. Take these screws out. Pull this cover out, and you can see where you can disconnect the connectors. Push down on the top connector, slide that out, and there's a little tab right here. You just lift up on that tab. I'm just going to use a pick. Just pop this up a little bit. And slide that out. Using a trim tool, I'm just going to pop these connectors up. Then we want to disconnect the connectors. It's a little tab. Just push on the tab. Slide that up. There's a tab right there. Slide that out. They're loose. We have two nuts we want to take off. Use a 13 millimeter socket. Take those nuts out. push the cushion forward slightly, and then down below, down here, you can see where the back side of the cushion is secure. So when we slide the cushion up, just like that, and it'll slide right out. We may have some more wiring harness we have to disconnect. There's one right here. Pull that lock tab up and just push down. Just push down on the tab. Slide that connector out. There's two more. The green one right here. I'm just going to use a pick. Slide that one out, and then the other connector right here. And the wiring harness over here. Just using a trim tool. Pop this out, and then we can pop the connector off. Sometimes that retainer is a little tricky. I'm just going to pop it off and just slide it out. And fish that wire through. And there's the seat cushion. I just take the seat cover off. You just want to slide underneath here. Be careful, this part of the seat is actually very sharp. You don't want to cut yourself. And over on the sides, just pop this up. Just flip it over and just unfold it. And we can see on the side here, this is Velcroed in. Sometimes there is hog rings holding these in. You need to just cut the hog rings. They look like little metal staples, and you just use some side cutters, cut them. Just do this nice and carefully. You don't want the Velcro to come off the seat cushion. And slide that out. And where the heating pad element is, you can start peeling it up. And if it seems like it is sticking, like in the front a little bit, you can use a heat gun. Just lightly heat it up. Constantly moving it. Just trying not to peel the foam. I need a little more heat. And you might rip some of the foam, and that's okay. Just be careful. And peel that up. Do the same on the back. And just peel that up. Now you want to line this up the same way it was before. Just get it in that right area. You can see this is off a little bit. Just move it up a little. Get it the way you want it. And then pull off the backing. And gently push that down. And make sure you give yourself a little bit of slack right there. And then you're going to do the same on the front. Just spin it around. That looks good there. Pull off the backing. And lightly tap it down. Looks good. Now take the seat cover and line up where it's going to Velcro in. Start with the center. Just push it down. Get all those lined up. Then on the sides. And we'll just fold it over. And just fold the cover over, and it should clip in place. Pretty good. Now put the lower seat cushion on, run the wire through. Pull that through, and then there's another wire that goes through here. This wire can connect to that sensor right there. And put the lock in. And this wiring harness is going to lock in right here, just like that. And just slide that connector in there. That's good. Or the retainer. Now connect these connectors on the side. Line that up, lock it down. This one over here. Lock that in place. And the green connector, connect those two together. Lock that down. Now slide the bottom two retainers into the seat. And push down. Get these studs to line up. Now put the nuts on. Tighten those down. Now connect the connectors. Line that up, and then push the retainers in. Make sure that one's locked in place. Now on the side cover, put these connectors in place. Lock those down. Get this lined up. Take all the screws, get those all started. And snug these down. Now we're going to install the seat back into the vehicle. Now connect the connectors, airbag connector. Lock that down, and a little lock, you want to slide that in place. That just goes like that. And the seat connector, line that up, and lock it down. Now we can hook up the battery, the negative terminal, tighten that down snug, and then give it a wiggle, make sure it's tight, it's good. The bolts in, you can get these started. Make sure the front studs are in the right locations, and then you can tighten these down. Now we're going to torque the bolts to 41 foot-pounds. And put the cover on. And this cover is going to go on in the back. Lock it down. Now put the nuts on, get those lined up. And tighten the nuts down. Now we'll torque these to 41 foot-pounds. Now take this cover, line it up, and lock it in place.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.